No, no, no. No to all of the above. These rules to break are really just assumptions about how business works at the most basic level. They probably aren't written down anywhere in your strategy document, but they've almost certainly backed up your thinking and your company's actions for as long as you remember. The problem is, each of these assumptions is dead wrong. More than that, if you operate according to these false assumptions, not only will your business fail to create much value, but you'll also soon find yourself trapped in a crisis of short-termism. Everything you do will be so furiously centered on making today's numbers that you will become increasingly blinded to everything else. Businesses swept up by this crisis find that even as they try to do the right thing for their shareholders, they end up destroying value rather than creating it. So while these rules to break may look no more dangerous than ordinary common sense, in truth, they're deadly. A perfect storm of new technologies. Once upon a time, perhaps during the age of mass marketing, but before the World Wide Web, these rules served as reasonable guides for running a successful business. But a number of new technologies have introduced capabilities and influences on businesses that have together created what you might call a perfect storm of radical change. Customers share their experiences electronically with millions of other customers. Business is transacted at the speed of wireless email, and the lowliest employee can leap tall corporate hierarchies with a single click. The technology of business has changed so radically that the old accepted wisdoms just don't work anymore. In their place, we're going to propose a whole new way of thinking about how to create shareholder value in today's competitive environment, operating with today's technologies. As we explain the nuances of our proposed new way of thinking, we'll introduce 12 laws to follow, guidelines to ensure that your business can surmount the crisis of short-termism smothering so many businesses today. No one knows how long these laws to follow will adequately guide your decisions, but one thing is certain. If you want to succeed, starting tomorrow morning and stretching out at least into the future we are capable of imagining today, then you'll have to start by standing the old assumptions on their collective head, because they've already become more destructive than helpful. Which begs the question, if the rules to break are so wrong, why are they so widely accepted? Why is it that so many businesses pursue their goals this way, in just the way their executives learned in the MBA program, the same way they've always done it? In a word, imitation. Imitation is one of life's most important defense mechanisms. Young deer learn to survive predators by imitating older deer that have survived predators. Birds learn to fly, wolves learn to hunt. Beavers learn to build dams, and human beings learn to walk, talk, play, work, and flirt, all by imitating others of their species. Businesses, too, grow stronger and faster by carefully observing what has worked before and then imitating other successful businesses. Case studies, best practices, benchmarking, competitive reviews, call it what you want, there is no question that one company's success often becomes the object of imitation by others. Listen, we believe imitation can be a good thing in general. In fact, we're hoping you bought this audiobook precisely because so many other people did. The problem is that imitation is so powerful as both a learning tool and a survival mechanism that when things get a bit out of kilter, the drive to imitate can sometimes lead to irrational and even self-destructive behavior. Army ants, for instance. Army ants are genetically programmed to follow each other in packs in order to find food, each army ant traipsing along in the footsteps of the ants in front of it. But occasionally naturalists have observed circular mills of army ants. These are battalions of several thousand ants that have somehow become separated from the main army, doubled back on each other, and are now marching around in a closed circle because the leading foragers have chanced on the tail end of their own battalion and have begun following it. When ants get themselves into circular mills, they will march around and around and around until they all die of weakness and starvation, literally imitating each other to death. It seems to us that businesses have gotten into a kind of circular mill themselves, with each following the other and applying these three false assumptions, despite the fact that these principles are no longer producing real growth. Most executives sense that business growth has become more difficult, yet their response to this challenge is to redouble their efforts and to apply these same false assumptions all the more diligently.